Alright, here we are looking at number 30. What we're supposed to do here is find the vertex, and what we're going to do is completing a square to do so. You could find it by using negative b over 2a to find your x value and then plug that back in, but we need to work on completing the square, so I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and isolate the x's. I'm going to bring this 1 to the other side. So f of x minus 1 equals 2x squared minus x. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue to isolate the x's. I cannot do the rule for completing the square, which is b over 2 squared. I cannot apply that rule until I have just x squared. Okay, so you can't apply this right now. So I got to pull that 2 out in front. So I'm just going to keep this side the same. F of x minus 1 equals 2 outside of x squared. And there's understood to be a 1 in front of there. And when I factor out a 2, I'm dividing by 2. So it'd be minus 1/2 x. And then leave a space because we're ready to complete the square. We're ready to do the rule for completing the square, the b over 2 squared. Alright, so 1/2 divided by 2 would be 1/4, and then square that would be 1/16. So I'm going to add 1/16 here, and then right at this next step is where most people make their error. On this side, to keep it equal, I don't add 1/16. I actually add 2/16 or 1/8, because to this side of the equation, by putting a 1/16 in the parentheses, I actually added 2 times 1/16 to this side of the parentheses. So I got to add that over here, and I'm going to go ahead and write 2/16 as 1/8. Okay, and then from there, it's just a matter of factoring, combining like terms, moving things to the right position, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off all that. F of x, I'm going to put these two together. Negative 1 and plus 1/8, I should say, gives me minus 7/8, and that's equal to 2 outside of, and I got to factor this. I'll go ahead and write it all the way out so you can see every step. My factors of 1/16, the add or subtract to give me 1/2, are always going to be half of this middle term. So it's going to be minus 1/4 and minus 1/4. Negative 1/4 times negative 1/4 gives me positive 1/16, and negative 1/4 x and negative 1/4 x will give me minus 1/2 x for my middle term. And obviously x times x gives me the x squared. So we're done. As far as algebra goes, we're just going to clean things up, put things in the right positions. So 2 outside of, we want to write this as a quantity squared to make it look like vertex form, and then bring that 7/8 back across, so plus 7/8. And now you can easily identify your vertex, which is 1/4. For the x value, you just change the sign for the x value because of transformation rules, and then the y value stays exactly the same. So my vertex is at 1/4 and 7/8.